Joining me now, Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel. Great to have you with us. Ronna, good to see you. I'm going to start with first what we're witnessing today. Speaker Ryan single-handedly changed the discussion from the success of the Republicans in the primaries to his rather, I think, idiotic and really absolutely irresponsible remarks about both the president and about DACA and the general political atmosphere in this country. What is his problem?
Well, I will tell you, I just went on a West Coast swing, and I was in Washington State and Oregon and California, not, red states, and every person I met with said, we need more Republicans to support this president, and we want to see our Republican leadership supporting this president. And there are a lot of things to be concerned about with the informant that was in the spy that was in the Trump campaign.
Right.
And I'm going to use the word spy because I think by diluting the language, you are changing the severity of what happened. Because if somebody's in a campaign and they are reporting back to the FBI, they are spying. And why didn't they inform the candidate? Why didn't they go to Donald Trump? I think there are very serious questions. And our voters, our Republican base, wants to see Republican leadership stepping up and asking about why this happened. And we've got to talk about our successes, and we've got to be unified, and we've got to be supporting our president, whose agenda is making people's lives better across this country. And I see it and I feel it every single day as I travel around to state to state to state.
I think that, frankly, first of all, let me applaud what you've said, because I think you're being direct, forthright, and that is, I commend you for it. It is not often that we have that kind of language originating with the chair of either national committee, and I just want to cheer you, if I may, one more time. Turning to these elections yesterday, the president, those candidates he supported to a person, all did well.
They did. I mean, John Cox made it to the finish line, to the top two in California yesterday because of the president's endorsement. That is huge for our House members in California who are going to be in competitive races that the Democrats have targeted to flip the majority. To have somebody at the top of the ticket running for governor is going to bring out Republican voters, and that is because the president engaged. And across the state yesterday, we saw Republicans turning out in droves. In 6 of the 7 battleground House seats yesterday that Democrats were counting on to flip the House, more Republicans turned out than Democrats, and the 7th one was just by a little bit that the Democrats turned out. That blue wave yesterday became a ripple, and I'll tell you why. Because the Trump agenda is working across this country, unemployment at record low, people are feeling better, wages are up, and they want to see this comeback continue, and they're not going to hand this nation over to the obstruct and resist Democrat Party of no.
Yeah, well, and that's, I think, being kind to that party, because right now they have no agenda. They have, frankly, little to commend their party for anything. I mean, Nancy Pelosi is talking taxes. Bill Clinton is talking history, personal history that he, I'm sure, would prefer to forget. And Hillary Clinton is still walking around in front of cameras and microphones asking what happened. It seems to me that the Republican Party should encourage them to continue on, certainly through the midterms.
Yeah, I hope that Bill Clinton's book tour goes through the midterms. We'd like Hillary out there as much as possible. Pelosi, I send her flowers every week. We want her right where she is because, their vision for this country is one of our country going backwards. They want to raise taxes. They want to hurt average working Americans. And when you look at what has happened with the tax cuts, with the deregulation, with wages up, with record unemployment, people are doing better because of President Trump. And you know what? That's going to resonate in November when people go to vote, because they're going to say the Republican Party's fighting for me. They're actually getting things done. We're about results. The Democrats are about rhetoric.
There's his language throughout the campaign of 2016 was memorable. But when he said he's going to be the president of all Americans, he meant it. And when we look at these unemployment numbers for minorities, whether African American, Hispanic, this is an extraordinary moment in time because they're at all-time lows. And this is a president who is delivering on every promise, and every one of those folks in the House where they want desperately to keep their majority, I can't even imagine why there would be any hesitation other than the fact that they are rhinos rather than Republicans, affix themselves to the Trump agenda. Ronna McDaniel, you're terrific. Great to talk with you as always. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Lou.
You betcha.